Hello, social media. It's Cynthia Keel, and we are here, 2024. We are still having our unpacking sessions with Exodus and transformation, our two words for 2024. And so I know I asked you all in the last video to let me know, or not just me, because everybody's watching, to let us know what are the things that you are exiting from so that you can be transformed by renewing your mind. And y'all wasn't going to talk about what you needed to exit from so that you could be transformed. You know why? Because we don't want to be accountable. And that doesn't always work. I'll share a little story with you all. Some very few people know this. In December of 2022, on a Sunday morning, about 11:45 a.m., I was coming from church. I had backed into my garage after coming from, 7:30 and 9:30 service at our church. Back to my garage to come into the house, and so that I don't have to go through all the details, but short of the long story, I was assaulted in an attempted carjacking. Was physically assaulted really bad. And then, of course, terrorized. Again, short of a long story, they did not get the car. It had to be a kid about 15 years old who had bum rushed into the garage to take the car, didn't know how to get my car started and how to steal the car. So I took a beating because this kid didn't know how to steal the car. So called the police. And fortunately, they came right away. They asked me if I wanted medical attention. I was like, no. And the officer said, you obviously don't know what you look like. You have not seen the injuries. So when I looked in the mirror and I saw what had happened, I was devastated. And not only, I was already traumatized because this is something I had been praying about. I was on a Thursday morning prayer call, prayed against carjackings and, physical assault and all those things. And so for this to happen to me, it felt like, well, wait a minute, Lord, didn't we talk about this? And why did this happen to me? And I can't believe this happened to me, blah, blah, blah. Went through all those human emotions. Don't judge me because I know y'all would go through the same thing. But what it did, the time of healing and the time of coming through that took me to a place of insecurity. And a lot of people didn't know that. People that saw me on a regular basis didn't know that I was suffering with, and I can't say it was imposter syndrome, but I was suffering with in an area of self-esteem, because every time I looked at myself and I saw myself, whether it was in a mirror or in the image of a camera, I was reminded of what had happened to me. And although I was, quoting my scriptures, I'd gone through did therapy to recover and to be okay, it was hard. It was difficult. And so people then would ask me, why aren't you on social media? We miss you. We miss your message. We miss your words, da, da, da. But people didn't know that this had happened to me. A lot of people didn't know that this had happened to me. And I knew that I would eventually tell the story. And as a testimony of, I had to come back to let the enemy know that you don't win. So I had to exit from my place of fear, my place of apprehension, my place of seeing myself as the devil wanted me to see myself, as always a victim and always being triggered and always feeling like somebody's watching me, to a place of victory and overcoming. So I had to exit from that place so that I can come back here, share my story, share my testimony, and say, we got to exit from the places that hinder us from being great, from being amazing, from bringing somebody to victory, bringing somebody to a place of overcoming, to letting somebody know that God has you, God is taking good care of you. And so I had to be transformed by changing my mind and saying, Cynthia, you are not what happened to you. It was something that happened to you, but you are not that. So whatever that is that happened to you, men and women, boys and girls, you are not what happened to you. It was an experience, an encounter to help you be greater. Tell your testimony so that somebody can come through. So I want you to talk about what is that thing you need to exit from so that you can be transformed by the renewing of your mind and go to the new place in the name